What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out. With this video, we are going to be diving into Knights of X, issue number 2. To get yourself caught up on this story, be sure to check out the link in my description, as well as the top of this video. This storyline by Tini Howard has really opened up Otherworld. The last we had seen them in Excalibur, they had been closed off from all Krakoa. What mutants were left behind? They are now hunted by Merlyn and the forces of King Arthur. Betsy Braddock, aka Captain Britain, finding refuge for mutantkind with Merlyn's daughter. This is what sent her on the quest for the holy grail of mutantkind, giving her temporary passage to gather her knights. Rachel, Richter, Shatterstar, Bay the Blood Moon, Gambit, Megan Braddock, Shogu, Colin, and Mordred. In gathering these forces together, they set on the quest for the Siege Perilous. Be sure to buy the comics, support the industry, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so our story, it is picking us up in the Lunatic Citadel, once known as the Starlight Citadel, until Merlyn came and took everything over. And though their forces had been trying with great effort to take down Betsy and all of the witch breed, so far they have been unable to do so. He's also becoming very skeptical of his own court. That is because of Mr. M and Jim Jaspers. Merlyn is upset because they don't know what Mr. M is up to. He has sealed off his providence and he is not bending the knee to anybody. Jaspers is the only one here to be able to be held accountable, with Merlyn believing that he is not trustworthy. We see the Furies, they have a power dampening collar around Jim's neck before he can even blink. This is Blight's will. It's an element here in Otherworld that depowers mutants. And while Jim tries to say that he is remaining neutral in everything going on, this is a literal witch hunt, and Merlyn will stop at nothing to rid every single one of them from Otherworld. Now that's what takes us over to the Quiet Council. We have Betsy, who is able to communicate with the Quiet Council more or less telepathically. With the help of Rachel and the others, they are able to project their powers just for a temporary amount of time, filling all of them in on everything that has been going on so far. As she fills them in on the Siege Perilous, we learn something very unique about the one that belongs to mutantkind specifically, because this thing is a mutatable artifact that imparts profound personal change on any mutant who travels through it. While it can take many different forms, if someone is going to use it, they usually have to walk through it like a doorway, like a mirror, like a gym. The Siege Perilous of mutantkind, it is different from the Siege Perilous referenced in Arthurian lore. After a mutant has gone through the Siege Perilous, they find themselves changed. From visions to amnesia, there are many different side effects that can occur. If anybody understands the power of this thing, it is Captain Britain. As it stands, this is their only option to be able to escape, to try and save as many mutants as possible. While everyone is gathered up, we see Mordred and Colin, they go at one another. Really, it's Colin going after Mordred, but what he doesn't understand is this Mordred, he is different, reborn, an opportunity to start fresh and not be that evil individual that he usually is, having his part to play in all of this. This is when they hear Jim Jaspers is reaching out, splitting up the Knights of X. Megan, Rachel, Colin, Bay the Blood Moon, and Gambit, they all head out to the Crooked Market. The market very oddly quiet. Once a thriving place to be, there is nobody in the streets. That is because the Furies are out there trying to kill all mutantkind. Luckily, many have been able to find themselves a safe place to hide. And while Gambit and the others, they have brought a little bit of food for the mutants that are hiding, Jim Jaspers' cry for help, it came from this location. And so while they continue their search, we are picking up with Captain Britain and Roma, the daughter of Merlyn. They are trying to figure out where this blight will came from. Jim Jaspers able to get those few words out. Captain Britain recognizes that this really is a damaging, dangerous thing to all mutantkind here. If they have the ability to take away their powers, this fight could be over in days. If it has the ability to dampen the powers of someone like Jim Jaspers, it's something that they have to deal with right now. Sheriff Whitechapel is the individual that is in charge of Blightspoke, and nobody has heard from her in quite some time, with Roma being able to use a little bit of her magic. With a flick of her fingers, she is able to teleport them above Blightspoke. What they fall into is one giant army. The Vescora hive mind have taken over everything as they cut their way through all of these monsters. They are trying to find Whitechapel. What they quickly uncover is that this place is filled with Blightwill. Merlyn has been taking it and refining it, building up an entire arsenal of this stuff to go against all Witchbreed, as Richter, Shatterstar, and Mordred are cutting their way through everything. Betsy finds Whitechapel and all of her associates currently caged up in prison. Though Whitechapel isn't Witchbreed herself, all of her associates are. And so because of this, they got locked up. The hive mind has taken over, and they are coming directly for them. Recognizing they might not get out of this situation, Whitechapel comes up with an idea. As it looks like she is about to fall, she tells Betsy to let go of her hand, make it look like she is dead. The Vescora are a hive mind, so if one of them sees this, all of the rest of them will also believe it, hoping that she will be able to make it out of here. If they believe that she is dead, she is going to be able to move around a lot easier and help out mutantkind. As these guys make their escape, they quickly recognize they're going to need more help. Captain Britain knows exactly where she needs to go. Meanwhile, inside the Crooked Market, the Furies are on top of our mutants, and Gambit is giving them everything they can as they battle these monstrosities. This is when they see Jim in one of their hands, quite possibly a trap to lure them in. We see the knights go in and Gambit lay down some mutant justice while they try to rescue Jim Jaspers. We have Betsy and the others who have made their way into the vampire nation of Otherworld. This isn't necessarily a bad thing though. Last we knew, the mutant known as Death had taken up residency here, and Captain Britain thinks it is time they finally have another conversation. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. You guys know I am 100% on board with this story. A Dungeons & Dragons style X-Men series, let's freaking go. I do find it funny that Teenie Howard, she took Jim Jaspers off the board immediately. The truth of the matter is he has the ability to just overcome so much. It would be honestly unfair to Merlyn and everybody else. Up to this point, Jim has really remained neutral. As long as he is racking in money, he doesn't care what happens in Otherworld. Unfortunately, Merlyn has just made this personal. Not only that, he dampened the powers of Jim Jaspers, something he is not going to take lightly. Meanwhile, we do have mention of Mr. M. I wasn't really sure if they were going to bring this up in this series. I was really hoping they would because it wouldn't make sense not to, and I'm glad that they have. And no one really knows what is going on in there, so it's going to be interesting to explore that part of the story. Another huge important factor is the Siege Perilous of Mutantkind, not to be confused with the one that is related to Arthurian literature. While there are some similarities, the one for the X-Men, it has its unique properties. As they mention, it causes amnesia, dreamlike visions, what they call ego death. So we don't really know exactly what is going to happen. We just know that this is the task, the quest that they have been given. I'm also very excited to see Death play a part. Death has been an awesome character ever since it was introduced in the Ten of Swords line. And while we have only got to see a little bit of Death throughout these comics, I hope that it's going to be playing a big part in what comes next. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by hitting the Super Thanks button. This button will let you donate directly to the channel, and every little bit helps us out. If you can't do that, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you don't miss any of the awesome content that we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.